I guess
Um,
I'll go cook them.
I saw that you named one of the rabbits Easter.
The Easter Bunny.
I like that. But I thought of this the other day, and I wanted to ask you about this. What do you think about a kid's name being Ark? Ark for a kid's name. Now, I'm not saying that I like it, because Ark to me, it sounds like a sound more than a name. Like you're like Ark. But
Well, okay, so I'm big on like spellings also.
are you gonna
So
pass
if it
out?
was with no,
Oh,
I
you
was in
made
my
it.
bed. I'm big on spellings. So like if it was with a C, I feel like I would be like, oh, that's kind of cool. But if it was, I mean, not for my own kid, I wouldn't name them that, but like for somebody else's kid. But if it was with a K, I would be like, oh no, I would just be thinking of like Noah's Ark, not necessarily. We see all kinds of names. Like
Yeah.
River has become really popular.
What about Pond?
No, I don't know about that.
Lake? Lakin?
I've heard Lake, yeah, Brook,
What
all
about
these like water
what
names.
about Geo? How about some prefixes? Geo.
My friend's son goes by Geo.
Is that like his
His name is
initials?
like
G-O?
no, it's for whatever reason I'm blanking on his real name, his full name, but it's like a family name that's passed down. And like her husband goes by G and her son goes by Geo. They have the same name. And I don't know why I'm blanking on what it's short for, but
I knew a guy one time, his name was Tree. He was blind and he played guitar and he sang and his name was Tree.
that was a Colleen Hoover book. What are you talking about?
I'm dead. What are you talking? What are you I'm dead
The
serious.
guy,
No, not
what,
no. No, this is a real thing. This is a real thing.
what was his name? He
I,
like lived across the building.
I know what you're talking about. That was in Maybe Someday. Uh,
Yeah,
I forget what his name was. But it wasn't
well, I'm
Tree.
about to find
It
out.
wasn't Tree.
It was something like that.
Yeah, but I knew a guy. His name was Tree. How I watched him. He invited me. It was look. He started going to our church, and I met him one time. Someone introduced me to him, and he said he played guitar, and he had a gig at like the local coffee shop, and we went in college and watched him play. It is the most absurd thing. I mean, just all of the things. The fact that his name was Tree just kind of ties everything together. If it was just like someone who, was vision impaired and play guitar, it's like, but it was just all the circumstances surrounding, and I'm not even going into everything else that was going on, but yeah, it was one of those surreal experiences, and I forgot it about it until now. But yeah, Tree.
So Ridge, I had to look it up. The maybe someday his name was Ridge.
Yeah. So like type landmark names. That's like a thing now,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of stuff like plateau, mountain,
Oh my
gorge.
goodness.
I think gorge. It's like a kind of like George, but gorge.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a but it's what's funny to me is like these off the wall names, like even Ridge when reading that book. At first I was like, this is so strange. Like maybe it's his last name and that's just what they're calling him, but like no, that was his name. But then after you hear it and kind of get accustomed to it, it just feels normal. Like if I had someone walk in my classroom named Ridge, I'd be like, "Hey, Ridge."
Yeah. It sounds like a abbreviation, like a nickname almost, though. You know,
Yeah,
like if you had knew someone named Bridget, Bridget, that was like the full name, but you called her Ridge, Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I would name a child. Wave. Wave. You know, like in the ocean, like wave. You know, not like wave, but like wave. I feel like it has some power to it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I mean, maybe if it was short for like Wava, I would be like cool with that,
Wava. That sounds like
As the founder,
no, no.
who's the founder of my sorority, dear to my heart.
Wava. That reminds me of like Waka Flocka. You know that rapper Waka Flocka. Like
Wava flavor.
Wava Flava. Yeah. Nah, nah. We're not
All right,
doing.
well, I know what I'm making now. Gonna make Wava with a clock around her neck. Gonna Photoshop a photo real quick.
You know, Cloud. Cloud is a Final Fantasy name.
Yeah.
Cloud. Um. Uh. What about Rain or Storm? Is an X Men. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, the more that I think
And
about it, I feel like there are more names for like elements. You know what I'm saying? Or like
mhm.
forces of nature.
And Kylie Jenner, her daughter's name is Stormy.
Yeah. You could add a little Y, add a Y to anything, and it kind of gives it a cutesy feel. So rain versus
It
rainy,
yeah.
wavy. Hey, wavy.
Ra- Rain is Kourtney Kardashian's son. This past summer I binged all the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, so that just lives rent free in my brain now.
Hmm. I think we're onto something with the name conventions. But I really, I don't have any kids. But if I had a kid, I would consider before doing the whole thing where people are like trying to name a girl a guy's name and trying to name a guy or a boy a girl's name. I would go with like you know a plant or something. Uh, something that was more nature. You know,
Yeah.
like
Like
wood.
Fern.
Fern. Fern Michaels. Yeah.
There you go. So what
Wood.
do you think about like girls named Charlie?
I mean, I guess as long as the full name was Charlotte and it wasn't,
Okay.
just Charlie, Or like if you named a girl Charles and called her Charlie, that would be weird, you know. Um,
Yeah.
what about one last thing before we sign off? What about instruments? Because you had clarinet, right? Claire.
hmm
What if you did like flute? Could you name a child flute or drum?
I think you would need to get like maybe some of the non-basic names like um marimba instead of drum. Like that might be kind of cool. Or like harp might be cool.
I think marimba is actually good because if someone just told me that their name was marimba, I would think that it like I wouldn't remember that it was an instrument.
Mm.
How about if you had yeah, I mean that could work. If you had someone who their name was Psy, but it was really xylophone,
Ooh,
Xyla,
yeah.
Xyla.
XY or XYLA. Or you
That's
could do Xylo. That'd be cool.
Xyla. Hmm. Interesting. That book that we DNF'd, I did like that. That the people were named after the instruments or whatever.
Which book did we DNF?
Station 11, is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just wasn't, circling back to talking about video games being like too mentally involved. I think that book was just a little bit too involved for me for the school year. Maybe it's a summer book.
Yeah. You should read comics. Read some comics with me.